It's Dump Month!
Traditionally, January is the month where all movies, every single one of them, sucks. Unless if they don't suck.
Happy New Year, everybody! It's 2025, and we are starting off with Better Man. Now, this movie's got a lot of controversy behind it because it's about a pop star who's huge around the world, except in the United States. There's a lot of people online who are prejudging this movie based on that the main character is portrayed as a chimpanzee. Weird, yes, I get it. That is weird. And that they don't know any of his songs. How can he be popular if he's not popular in America? And those people are review bombing this movie.
I strongly encourage people to avoid prejudging this movie. I fell into that trap as well, but it just makes sense. You gotta trust me on this one. We recently also just watched A Complete Unknown. You can watch our review right here. To compare it to this movie, let us know if you've seen both movies and which one was your favorite. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the monkey. So why did they choose to display Robbie Williams as a monkey? Well, he wanted that. And he says it right off the bat in this movie that he sees himself less evolved than everybody else. I also think the advantage of choosing to portray him as a monkey is you don't have to worry about the whole de-aging thing when you show him as a child to middle-aged teenager to adult. And on top of it, the most impressive part is the CGI is done stupid well. Stupid well. It looks so natural into the surroundings. The people interacting with him just look like they're actually interacting with him. It doesn't look like a CGI character within a real world whatsoever. And the clothes look pristine. I thought for sure it had to be a person in a costume and then just did a monkey face with CGI. No, the whole thing's CGI. It completely tricked me. I really thought everything about that had to be a costume apart from a few things. I've never been tricked this much before in my life for CGI. It just works way too stupid well.
I honestly forgot really early on in the movie that he was even different, like that he was a chimp at all.
That's a good point too. You don't even realize it later on.
Right off the bat, this movie oozes personality and charm, and it hooks you in to Robbie's story from beginning to end. The humor in this movie just got me cracking up. It was so funny that we really had to contain ourselves to not disrupt the rest of the theater during moments that were just completely unhinged and hilarious.
I've never laughed this hard in a movie in a very, very long time. Super hilarious.
And then it hits you on the emotional side of things where there are a lot of memorable quotes in this movie.
One of my more memorable quotes that I wrote down was, "Songs are only valuable if they cost something." I thought that was actually quite clever to say it that way. And there's many more quotes throughout this whole movie that just goes, wow, that was like very meaningful. And I think one of my favorite funny moments in this movie was when he started trying to test a new song and started singing in the key of C and starts singing really high and he goes, "Fuck me," make it a B flat, which in music terms is just a lower note so he can sing at a lower register and doesn't have to sing as high. So it was hilarious. I had to really hold myself from busting out laughing too much on that one.
This movie also gets really emotional, and that's due to the fact that all of the secondary characters go through just as much development as the main character does, so you grow with them. A large part of that emotional roller coaster is told through his songs. To avoid spoilers, I'm just going to tell you that I cried in this movie.
I cried too. Robbie Williams is a fantastic songwriter, and when you couple that with what he was going through in his life, it gives you a whole new perspective as to what he was going through during that time. The movie accentuates this visually. The choreography in this movie is an A++, because I gave Wicked an A+ for their choreography by utilizing the set around them, utilizing the props, having costumes that fit the choreography very well. This did that, but better. And that's a lot due to the symbolism within the choreography that they displayed. This was the best visual representation of emotions that I've ever seen. That's called text painting.
Hold on there. Time for some alter ego education. Text painting is a musical technique that uses musical gestures to represent the meaning of lyrics or story elements. It's also known as word painting or tone painting. It has been a popular technique since the Renaissance. It creates a more immersive listening experience for audiences and helps listeners engage more deeply with the work. Some examples of text painting would be hearing sad music while something emotional was happening on screen, hearing a melody get higher when someone sings the words uphill, or hearing a flute imitate a bird chirping. This has been your alter ego educational moment, brought to you by me, Real Andy Stefan.
And they did that visually, audibly, and mentally. This added a whole other layer of immersion, and I would say, for the most part, a lot of these choices were very risky. Was it gonna land with the audience? Who knows? But I think the consensus for me is every single decision they made landed very well.
And to jump off of that, the visual representation of depression in this movie is top notch. I have never seen a movie visually represent what I feel that depression is like. Throughout the film, Robbie is performing, and during his performances, he starts seeing other versions of himself out in the audience or out in the world that start interrupting his performance in his mind only by throwing negative thoughts right at him. He's not good enough. He's going to ruin it. He's never going to be as good as his dad wants him to be. All thoughts like that just keep bombarding him throughout the movie, and it multiplies as the movie goes on. All the while, in real life, nobody is ever the wiser. There's no drop the mic moment, I'm failing, I'm not doing well, and people are concerned for him because they don't understand that he's going through a struggle internally that he doesn't think that they can even relate to. I was blown away at the thought behind this version of representation because it was thought out so much, not only to tell somebody else that, hey, he's having these thoughts that aren't real, but also to be mature enough to say, that's me saying those things. That's not actually the audience saying those things to me. That's what I am projecting onto them. Just spot on representation, and I cannot praise it enough. Very well done.
What do you recommend?
I definitely recommend this movie. I think set aside any sort of preconceived notions that you may have from the marketing material or your own thoughts about who is Robbie Williams and just go see it. You will have an experience that you've not seen before.
And I couldn't agree more. I strongly recommend this movie. I do want to say, yes, you know it, starting off 2025 strong with an upside down camera angle. Let's get a counter. Thank you, Future Nick. And there's one particular moment at the very end of the movie that I was really wanting them to do. I can't spoil it, but they did it. And I was like, yes, now this movie has fully concluded. Oh, perfect movie. And I'm ready for my score here. But before I give mine, what's your score?
I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. We're starting 2025 really strong, and I couldn't tell you any more to go see this movie. It's just so well done. They could have easily done something else, something more gimmicky, but they made something that was really impactful, and I loved every bit of this movie. What was your score?
This is a 10 out of 10 movie, but I'm gonna give it an 11 out of 10. Starting off 2025 really strong because of the CGI of the monkey. It tricked me. I genuinely thought that was a person in a costume and they just did a face thing. But no, the whole thing was CGI. I'd have to look back at who did the CGI for this movie, but it was the best CGI I've ever seen. I've never been tricked so much in my life. 11 out of 10 movie, go see it.
And with that, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Just remember, we're just two regular dudes doing regular reviews. You're all fucking wrong.
So handsy.
Handsy, you're the hand.
But
you're the pointy guy.
That's just where I am. I'm the pointy guy.
He's a pointy guy.
All right.
Should I do a little accent visit? Wiener hat style?
Good?
Good.
Okie dokie.
I don't think we forgot anything.
I don't think so either.